everyone, Kyle from Voids to Full. Today we're going to be looking at our Titan's little friends, the Knights, their command terminals, and how to use them. Looking at your command terminal, you'll see this one is for a Questor support banner. It gives you the scale of the unit and the points cost base. Unlike Titans, this point value actually corresponds to the minimum number of Knights. So for a Questor support banner, it actually has a minimum unit size of 3, and that's 3 Knights at 120 points, plus whatever weapons you outfit them with. If you turn your command terminal over, this will actually tell you what the minimum unit size is and its maximum, as well as how many more points you have to pay per additional model. Unlike Titans, where you find their weapon values on the weapon cards, the Knight command terminals show the weapon points on the backside. Knights actually have ion shields instead of void shields. Knights always get their ion shield save, as long as the weapon isn't too strong to overload them. You notice on the top of the chart here that the higher the strength of the weapon attacking them, the worse the ion shield save is. And the more Knights you have in a squad, the better their save gets. It's kind of like they combine their shields together to increase its strength. These are your designation and order slots. The designation, what you do is you take your circular Roman numeral markers that you'd get in any starter box, and you'd place it over the Titanicus T if you have multiple squads. This would be useful for Knights if you're running, say, Lance. And that just helps you keep track of which squad this command terminal corresponds to. The order box works the exact same as it does with Titans. When you give your Knights an order, you just take the corresponding die to that order and place it over top. Something to note with orders and Knights, though, is because Knights don't have plasma reactors, they actually can't be given the emergency repair order or shutdown orders. Okay, this box shows you how you take damage and at what armor roll you take it at. So your opponent would roll to hit your Knight unit. You would take your ion shield save if possible. If you fail your ion shield save, your opponent would roll a d6 and add that to their weapon strength. Depending on that number, you would compare that to the number values next to these hits to find out which one you take, and then apply them to your structure track. When you see boxes like these on your terminal, they're for special rules that particular class of Knight may have. Just keep that in mind, because a lot of times these are pretty handy in the game. These are all your characteristic boxes. So it shows your command value, which is the roll you need on a d10 to get your orders off. In this case, I would need a 6 or higher to give the Knights an order. Your ballistic skill, so what you need on a d6 to land your hits on anything. And your weapon skill, the value you use for, say, your Knight close combat weapons and when you're in close. And a speed value. You may notice that there's no maneuver value on your Knight command terminals. This is actually where Knights really shine. They are super maneuverable. So, unlike Titans that are restricted by turns and arcs, Knights actually can move essentially in a ring 10 inches around them, full 360 degrees. The only limit to this is they have to remain within 3 inches of at least one model in their squad, and the 360 degree arc actually applies to all of their weapons as well, so they don't need to be positioned facing forward at something to shoot it. But like all weapons in the game, they are still restricted to line of sight. Knights don't actually use weapon cards like Titans. All of their weapons that you can choose from are on their terminal itself. So these tell you the types of weapons available, their ranges for short and long, any modifiers that might apply, the dice values, how many shots you get, and the strength of the weapons. They also follow the same traits as the Titan weapons that you can find the definitions for in the rulebook. And Just a reminder, the point values for all of these weapons can be found on the back of the terminal. Sometimes you have the option of doing weapon upgrades or certain war gear upgrades for knights. These are usually found in gray boxes on the bottom of the terminal, and the point values for it are on the back. The last thing we have to look at on the terminal is how knights take damage. You keep track of that on your structure track, just like Titans, but knights don't actually take critical damage. They just lose structure points and get destroyed. As per the usual, they can take 3 types of hits: a direct hit, a devastating hit, and a critical hit. When your banner takes a direct hit, it just loses 1 structure point. If it doesn't have any structure points left, then a knight's destroyed and you reset the track. A devastating hit, they would lose 2 structure points. If there's nothing left on the track, then a knight's destroyed and you reset into the green. And a critical hit, where you lose 2 structure points. If you don't have the structure points, a knight is destroyed and another knight is destroyed. So critical hits can be pretty devastating for these guys. And as per every structure track or terminal in the game, you just use one of your markers. In this case, I'm using the cog, and you place it all the way to the left in the green, and you'll take your damage from there. So this banner took a direct hit, it would move 1 position over to the right. If it took a devastating hit, 2 positions to the right into the yellow. And a critical hit, it would move 2 spots over to the right because it has available structure points, and a knight gets destroyed. The example I'm going to leave you with is pretty much as complicated as it gets for knight terminals and using your banner. So, say you only had 1 point left on your structure track, and your banner took a critical hit. Well, you would move your marker 2 positions over to the right, and a knight automatically gets destroyed. And because you didn't have a structure point left for that 2nd point of damage, you actually lose another knight. So that 1 critical hit actually caused you to lose 2 out of your 3 models. And then once you resolve that, just reset the marker back into the green for the remaining knight. In Titanicus, every time you lose a model in a knight, banner, or squad, you have to take something called a shaken test. It's kind of like a morale test common in a lot of other tabletop games, and it just represents the surviving knights being confused or overwhelmed by losing their squad mates. To do this, you would need a d10 die, and you would roll that and compare it to your command value. In this case, it's a 6+. So if I roll over that command value, the banner is fine, it's held strong, and continues its use normal. If you fail that command check, the banner automatically loses any current orders it has. In this case, they have a charge order. So I remove that die and I would replace it with the shutdown die. And because knights don't have plasma reactors, they can't actually be issued a shutdown order. For them, anytime you see a shutdown die on a command terminal, it means that banner is shaken. In addition to losing any current orders the banner might have had, they actually suffer a -3 to their speed characteristic and a -1 to all of their hit rolls. The effect of a banner being shaken will last until at least your next order phase. When you activate the knights in the order phase, you would do another command check. If you fail it, they remain shaken. If you pass it, then you remove the shutdown order die, but you still can't give them any orders that phase. You'd actually have to wait until your next turn. There are more knight variants in this game than I can count right now. They've been releasing kit after kit after kit of these things. I can safely say I don't think I've ever built a list without at least one squad. Though knights may die very fast, They're actually pretty scary when you get them in close, and their ability to outflank and outmaneuver things is fantastic. Thanks for hanging in there to the end. If I missed anything, fire it in the comments below, and I'll catch you on the next one.